everyone. It's Ashley and Katie here, peeling back the truth of aesthetic medicine. And we have a good topic today. This is episode 23, I believe. And Katie, let's just jump right into it.
Let's jump. This is a really good topic, actually, because it gets me very frustrated.
Revved up. It gets me revved up. Okay, so recently with trainings and talking to people and going to shows, I feel like a lot of people get the smoke and mirrors of the greatest and latest and amazing products out there, specifically lasers. Let's talk about that too. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's everything, but let's
Let's
talk
just
about
say,
lasers.
yeah, devices, but like everything really. Like
Yeah.
the whole industry is so stuck on what is popular.
Yeah.
And because it's popular, it's the best. And we are here to tell you this is not true.
So I am not going to say names.
Yeah, we're not gonna name game here. We're
Not
not
gonna
gonna
name game, name shame, but I was just talking to a business owner in the United States on Wednesday morning. What day is it? Today's Friday. Oh yeah, on Wednesday morning this week. I was just talking to her on Wednesday morning about how she had the smoke and mirrors last year. And she ended up purchasing a over $200,000 device that was supposed to do this and that and the most amazing things in the planet. And now she is very upset because it's not everything she thought, and she did her homework. And out there, people talked about this device because it was so amazing, and now she's finding that she won't even recommend it for people with like melasma because she herself has melasma and it's made it 10 times worse. And she was told it would do these things. And now she realizes that she needs Aerolase.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about melasma and this huge confusion of what's good for it and what's not. When we think about pigmentation, period, just any kind of pigmentation on the outer
I mean,
skin,
melanocyte.
anything, it's all caused from some sort of trauma. Okay, of some sort, sun trauma, popping a pimple trauma,
Environmental toxins,
environmental, whatever, it's a trauma to this,
hormone change.
all from anything like that, like sun or whatever, that's coming externally. Okay, and that's the cause. With melasma, the trauma that creates the pigment is internal. Okay, so the outside that we see with melasma, that pigment, that is the symptom. That is not the melasma. The melasma is the internal feed from the hypervascular. That trauma, that inflammation in the skin causes pigmentation on our outer layers. So it makes sense that something that removes pigment superficially would work short term for that outer pigmentation. But what happens is when it treats that pigmentation outside, it heats it a lot, too much. And the inside, the hypervascular, what's causing the melasma,
Right.
gets annoyed and freaked out, and it comes back and responds with a vengeance.
In a very negative way,
In
creating
a
more
very negative way.
trauma and more pigment.
Yes. So that's more trauma, more pigment, and worse melasma. So you think it worked, it tricks you, and then, 3-4 weeks later, here it goes, and it goes worse.
But you think you look amazing for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, so you're like, this treatment's amazing for melasma, but no, it's not amazing. It's really like a little Band-Aid, and then it's coming back double, triple, whatever. So don't be tricked by things saying, oh, we're great for melasma. We can treat melasma when it's only working on that superficial melasma, that pigment. Don't forget about what it's doing to the internal cause of melasma, and it's going to cause the melasma to come back more.
Quite frankly, everyone, it's going to piss off internal.
Exactly, that's exactly what it does. It just pisses it off, and then it comes back and shows you. Where Aerolase, the way it treats melasma, it works on the cause and the symptom. So it
Because
does
it's going through all three chromophores.
exactly.
And we're delivering energy,
Yes,
not heat, which
not heat.
everybody out there listening, I know my claim to fame is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most heat or pain you're feeling discomfort wise with our device right now. We say heat to people because their brains feel that it's heat, but Aerolase delivers energy,
Mhm.
joules per square centimeter, or microns in depth. It's not displaying heat, but to you as a person getting it,
It
it
feels like
feels
heat.
like heat.
Mhm. Because it's like
So
energy. If I rub my hands together, I'm creating energy. What happens? It gets hot.
warm. Yep.
Warm. Yeah.
So
What because when Aerolase delivers this energy with the 650 microsecond pulse, it is 150 microseconds below the thermal relaxation time, which is at 800.
yep.
So it gets in and out of the skin, delivering the proper amount of energy needed for the condition before that thermal relaxation time. So it is safe, effective without putting the heat in there that's going to make the melasma angry. So it's actually working to help the hypervascular, but it's also working to control the outer pigment. So it's doing both, and it's actually helping and getting the melasma to calm down, for the inflammation on the inside to calm down, the pigment on the outside to come off. And it is not going to be able to cure the melasma, but it is definitely going to be able to calm it down and control it. So that is one example of a myth that's out there when people say, oh, we can treat melasma. Well, you as a provider or a patient have to look at what's happening and think about, like, is this going to really work for melasma? So it's just very frustrating because so many people get tricked and then they buy something and they're stuck with it and they can't even treat the condition they wanted to treat.
Right. And while we're talking about that, how smoke and mirrors happens with laser physics, everyone, everything that's out there has been out there. And
Forever.
everyone needs to understand that, gosh, love it, Katie. I love going to the shows. I love educating. I like speaking. I like being a faculty leader. And I know you are the same. But when people say that they have the latest and greatest technology, chances are same technology that another company came out with 15 years ago. You're just putting your spin on it. So people need to understand and realize that you are just not getting something so new and brilliant that's never been invented before, because it's not the case. The only reason, and I shouldn't say the only reason because it's not, the only reason that we are set apart with Aerolase is because the microsecond technology, I feel, and
And the
that's not
patented
the only reason.
and our cooling system, you know,
And the delivery, correct. I just think people don't do research. And to everybody out there listening, I'm not saying you don't do your research. That's not what I'm saying. But if you just take laser physics and science when you're researching these companies of hundreds of thousands of dollars that you want to spend, you're going to see a pattern where, oh, this is the same thing that that company has that they came out with 7 years ago, but this company says they do it better, but it's the same exact thing. It's milliseconds, it's this, it's that, same thing. What is it? It's like when you go to a generic drugstore or, you know, Target, whatever. Sorry, I love Target. Everybody, I love Target. Anyways, if you go there and you're getting generic skincare, you're so confused because X, Y, and Z company has this new thing, and then A, B, and C company has this new thing. And what do we get? Because there's 700 moisturizers that we can't figure it out. One, don't go there and get that. You need medical grade skincare. But I'm just using that as an example of use the internet, use the knowledge, use your resources, and
go
do
back
your
to the
justice.
science every time. And like, remember, so if, let's say, two companies are making a radio frequency microneedle device, okay? At the end of the day, one is on Instagram all over the place. Everyone's talking about it. There's billboards on the highway. It is just hot and great
Latest
and
and greatest.
the greatest. Then we have a more generic company who makes a microneedle radio frequency. When you put that on the skin, your body, your skin does not know. I have the most expensive, most popular one treating me, and I have the generic one treating me. No, it's still the same mechanism of action. Okay, maybe one has fancier bells and whistles of how to set the settings, whatever. But does that really matter? No, what matters is what is it doing for the skin? Okay, and at the end of the day, those devices do one thing. They do one thing, and they do it with a little bit of discomfort, sometimes a lot of discomfort. When you think about the radio frequency microneedle, what is it doing? It is heating the dermis with the radio frequency, causing collagen remodeling. It is microneedling the skin, which is fractionating the skin, damaging partial skin of our skin, and leaving the rest intact to heal. So that mechanism of action is happening. If you were to do an Aerolase Neo skin rejuvenation, what are you doing? You're heating the dermis. Then I take a microneedle pen that cost me $4,000, $6,000, whatever it costs. And then immediately after my Neo skin rejuvenation treatment, I microneedle someone's skin. I just did the exact same mechanism of action as radio frequency microneedle. I just used different tools, and my Aerolase Neo can do 30 something other treatments than just one. So let's really think, like, why would you not go that route and go this route? Because it's popular. And that is what it comes down to. Everyone's falling for what's popular. Patients are falling for it. Providers are falling for it. And we're really getting ourselves in a situation where we're throwing money away. I have gone in so many offices with devices everywhere, and they're not using them. They get a Neo, and these devices are in the corner. They're not using them anymore. And I mean, it's just a fact.
And that's also while we're talking about that, because I mean, I myself in clinic do this as well. Aerolase Neo and Aerolase Era are two devices that you can use in combination with so many things if you want to. All these other devices you normally can't combine, but those are safe to combine with these devices. So if you are a practitioner listening to this and you have a machine that you're still paying on or something that you want to utilize, you can use it in combination with these, and that's fine because you want to feel like you've gotten some money out of what you're doing. That's fine. But people, I feel like you don't have to have that big red bow on everything and the shiny smoke and mirrors and the glitz and the glam. Do your research, understand laser physics, and
use something that's going to get your patient results. So when your people are walking in the door saying, I want this treatment because they saw it on TikTok or Instagram, okay, that brought them in your front door. You say, maybe you don't have that, but we have something that does the same mechanism of action and is going to do the same thing for your skin, actually better. So let's give it a try. Like, you can still sell them. If it brings them in the door, you got to learn how to turn it over and get them, in your room.
Exactly. And I also want to bring up, and this is more like to practitioners too. If you have a sales rep that is hounding you and talking dirt about every other person that has a device that they're bringing to you, probably don't go with that company.
Probably.
I cannot handle the amount of dogging that is happening in our industry right now with sales reps. Well, don't get this and don't get that. That's garbage. That's this. You don't even need to do that. To literally, I don't know, For me, Katie, to sleep at night, I would just tell people what they need to know. Facts.
Facts,
Factual information
facts.
on why something works, how it works, what it does. Stop degrading other people that are
To
doing
put,
the same job as you for a different company, because that's not how you gain rapport with practitioners. I have talked to practitioners in the last 2 months, Katie, that literally tell me how these people hounded them on Easter, literally calling them on Easter saying, don't do X, Y, and Z. You have to go with ours on an Easter Sunday. I have no patience and no room in this industry for that. And that's me talking as in clinic when we have reps come in. If the first thing the rep does is dog another rep or another company and literally just degrades them, I'm out. I'm done.
no, yeah. And I mean, here we are on this podcast and like, sure, would I love to start throwing names out there? Yeah, because it does annoy me, but I'm not going to do that because I
It's
don't
classy.
need
It's
to do that.
classy.
Yeah, I don't need to do it because our Neo and Era, we don't have to make things up. We don't have to fabricate what it does. And we don't have to worry about you finding out something about us because we're only telling the truth. And this is the reality. What we say is the truth. The device is phenomenal and it works. And we know it works. So we're not, you know, I'm not worried about having to prove it works or convince someone it works.
And I know this is kind of off topic from like the discussion of don't fall for the new latest and greatest. But I do have to say for everybody out there listening, this morning we did a call with Katie's work family that she takes such good care of us in clinical training. We had a call with all the trainers across the country. And I said something that I think is so valuable on how we operate. And of course, Katie and I are very biased. Yes, we love our Airlays. Obviously, we talk about it a lot because we do feel so strongly that it's amazing. But I feel that Airlays has made this beautiful culture and this very family oriented culture to where I also don't, I have an issue with trainers. And I can say this because I've had trainers in our clinic train and you never hear from them again. They don't share contact information with you. They won't help you get answers. They won't help you resolve things. And you just see this trainer and then they leave. Where when we were on our call this morning, we were talking about with everybody in this country, like all of us in the country training, we give them our cell phone numbers. I love getting messages weekly about how great this is, or if they're not having great results, like, okay, let's problem solve here. Why? This I don't feel, and I know I'm not being biased because I've had other companies come in and train at Skin Boss. I don't feel any other company really does that, Katie. And I
No,
think
I
that
think
you have
you,
led a team in Aerolay's culture that's so important and so invaluable that it makes my heart explode because I
it
think
does.
Airlays, we're doing something right.
We are, and we're
Thank you to you.
changing everything about this industry. Like we are not going to fall into that section of where laser, sales is. It's not, it doesn't have a great reputation. And we are changing that because not only is our training support phenomenal, our customer care support, our engineering support, our marketing support, everything, our website, our customer resources. There's, if you want the education, it's there. And it's not just laser education, it's education about the industry because this industry is a whole thing. And if you want to be successful in a practice, you have to know the whole thing. You have to understand everything to be able to really thrive, or else you're going to fall behind real quick.
This industry, I think, will gulp you up so quick. And if you are not smart about how you do things and the understanding of the industry as a whole, it will chew you up so quickly. And I think
Absolutely.
and I think it starts with Airlays from the top and trickles down. Obviously, you support all of your trainers so well. And I think that it is important for people to know our culture. People to know the culture of the company is huge, and I get, like, lit up about it. I get so flippin' excited about it. Right now, I am training a new clinician that's absolutely fantastic in our office, and she is just blown away. She's like, "How I didn't know how a laser could do this many things." And she's been in this industry for over a decade.
Yeah. I mean,
And
and it's because people aren't used to that. Like, they don't understand, like, they don't understand that this device is doing this, this, and this all at the same time,
right.
you know? And it's like we were talking today about advancing and, like, you can advance, like, you do advance, and, like, when you advance is just time on practice, like, experience is that's how you advance. Like, you have to be constantly learning, learn and learn and learn more. I was just overseas working with a clinic, and, like, they, in Europe, they are ahead of us in some areas, behind us in some areas, it's always like that. And I was talking to them about the importance of, we know that the laser works.